Welcome back to Grand Forks and East Grand Forks, Mr. President. It's 15 years since the Red River was above our heads where we are standing today. You can see the various levels of the floods over the years on the obelisk beside us. Those days are thankfully over. Our city was underwater and our downtown was on fire. 11 historic buildings were destroyed, along with the homes and possessions of tens of thousands of residents and hundreds of businesses. The headline in the Grand Forks Herald read, "Come hell or high water." How true that was. But within days of the event, Mr. President, you and 5 of your cabinet members toured the damage. You then addressed the thousands of residents from Grand Forks and our neighbors from East Grand Forks, Minnesota. In our nation's history, I just wonder if any other president ever brought so much power and compassion to a natural disaster as you did that day. You understood our heartache and our fears, but you also reminded us of our core strengths, and you witnessed how we were coming together in the most unselfish of ways. You asked us to look out for each other. We did that. You asked us to be sensitive to the emotional pressures that some would feel. We did that too. You asked us to be resolute about the long run. We learned to do that. And you asked us to be good to ourselves. We tried. But then, you pledged the unqualified support from the federal government. We believed you. You gave us hope in our future. You, along with our congressional delegation, Senators Dorgan and Conrad, and Congressman Pomeroy and the delegation from Minnesota, did not let us down.
And just think about it, East Grand Forks, population 9,000. And what did we get? 4 new schools. 4 new schools. A city hall, a fire hall, a library, a downtown business district with Cabela's coming in. And then housing or for business, low interest loans. Low interest loans for housing. And you know that wasn't the end of it. He then got the federal government, the state government, and the local government to work together. And we need to do that more often today. But he got them together and we built a levee. And you know that levee in the last 10 years, we haven't thrown one sandbag. That's remarkable when you think of how water gets there. And we want to thank you from East Grand Forks and all the residents around here for everything you did, because we know that our recovery would have not been possible without your efforts and your help to us. Thank you very much. I have a little gift for a big deed. In here is a small key to the city of East Grand Forks. Good noise to Dean. Fantastic. Good luck.
I cannot tell you how proud I feel to be here today with all of you. And to have President Clinton come is one of the most wonderful things I've ever had happen in my life. He was our soul that brought us back from this flood. You wear the heart and soul of your community. And he was the heart and soul that brought these cities back. He and his cabinet. Yes. Our senators, our congressmen worked with him, and he was open to us at all times. I have never in my entire life met such a compassionate person. He was the right president at the right time, and I know who put him there. It is the greatest honor that I could ever have today to have been invited by Mayor Brown and Hal Gershman to come back to this city today and see all of you. I have the greatest respect for this community. I may live in Florida, but I left my heart in North Dakota and Minnesota. And I just want to thank you for being the heart and soul of our community, because what you see today has your handprints on every bit of it. So thank you, Mr. President, for doing that.
Mr. President, as you know, after disaster, the most important words are the words of hope. And after recovery, the most important words are thank you. So thank you. On behalf of the residents of Grand Forks, North Dakota, I hope you will be back stronger and better than ever. So I'm presenting you the key to our city and a plaque. And thank you for allowing us to say thank you. Your speech. Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to thank Hal and Mayor Strauss, Mayor Brown, Pat, thank you all for what you said. I thank the people behind me and those who they represent for the work they did in those tough days. I told all of the people here who came up with me when we were backstage, or whatever you call that place where we were, that when I was president, we had a lot of natural disasters. We had a 500-year flood in the lower Mississippi. We had to move whole towns. We had that horrible earthquake in California, which you may remember in Northridge, which broke open an entire interstate highway. Big floods in the Pacific Northwest and horrible hurricanes across the South. And the Red River flooded in my state, Arkansas, too, overflowing its bounds and creating a lake many miles wide where we had to have the National Guard drop hay bales to isolated cattle on hill rises so they wouldn't starve before the water went down. But there was something amazing about Grand Forks. No American who was alive then will ever forget the pictures of the town flooded while the buildings were burning. It wasn't come hell or high water, it was come hell and high water. And then you had a blizzard. It was almost as if the good Lord was testing you and all the rest of us. And I'm very proud of you. When I came here, I was still crippled from a horrible fall I had, and so were you. But it looks like we both got built back better. And I wanted to say a couple of words, just serious words, about your legacy and its impact on my life and about what really happened here and what lessons that has for us today. After I left office, because of the work of James Lee Witt and FEMA and because of the efforts we've made, people got the idea that I was supposed to know something about disasters. So in 2001, they had an earthquake in Gujarat in India. And the Prime Minister was a friend of mine, and he said, look, I've got the money to fix the cities, but I can't fix the small towns. And I want you to do something about it. I want you to organize the Indian American community and rebuild my towns and give us our clinics and our schools and our future back. And so we did. Today there is an America India Foundation which continues to work there. That too is a part of your legacy. And they built their areas back better. They learned to build structures that would resist the earthquakes, just like you built the dikes and the levees with the support of the government here. In 2004, there was a horrible tsunami in Southeast Asia. And the United Nations asked me to go there and work 2 years after first President Bush and I had gone and tried to raise some money and help, particularly Indonesia, which was the hardest hit place. And today, most of those places are built back better, just like you did here. And now the whole international apparatus that the United Nations oversees when there's a natural disaster has a handbook of lessons learned from that about how to build a place back better. That too is part of your legacy, and you should be proud of it. My favorite Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, said that the role of government was to do those things with and for people they could not do for themselves. Managing a natural disaster is part of that. All told, I think we put almost $500 million into this, into the immediate relief efforts. And then another $171 million in community development block grants to help rebuild the city. It is better, it is beautiful. I love walking down the streets before I got here. In the Irish language, the most prized greeting is Kate Meal Fáilte, 100,000 welcomes. That's the way you made me feel today. And we should welcome the challenges our country faces today. Nobody gets a free ride. No country gets a free ride. You just have to saddle up and do what has to be done. That's what you did in Grand Forks. And that too is part of your legacy to America. Thank you, and God bless you.